Oh my goodness. And it was hard. It was really hard. I think if you're paying attention to college football, everybody's pretty good. And there's some people that are like, look like they're elite, like Georgia, right? Some of that. And then there's a whole bunch of people fighting their tails off to win a game. And that's where we are. And I feel great about where we're at. It's been a long time since our program has been in this position, right? Because the last time was during COVID, and that felt nothing like this. We had games with no fans. We had no parents after games. None of our families got to see our kids play, right? So this is a whole different world for us. It's really exciting. We're thrilled we got the win. Obviously, there's things we need to play cleaner. I said that to you guys on Tuesday. I said that to you guys last Saturday. So that's something I, as a head coach, have to get fixed with our team. Is us just playing cleaner football. But I love our team. I love the way they fight for each other. It's 2 weeks in a row where we were down at halftime, and they just keep playing. And it's just awesome to watch. I think, Cade and Fehoko are something really special. And then you mix in the rest of that to Kyle Harmon, the rest of that defensive front, Soane and, Kakiva and Noah Wright and Noah Lavulu. And it's awesome to watch, and Brian Parham, and then I thought the back end was fantastic tonight. Chase, and defense was amazing. I don't know what the numbers are. I haven't really looked at them yet. They made a lot of big plays, and some of those big plays looked really messy to me. I don't know what that means, but they just didn't look like they were legit. Like some of those things were tricky, but that's football, and you got to find a way to finish. And so I'm excited because we found a way to finish, but we also had way too many situations where third and forever and they got it, or fourth and forever and they got it. And that won't be good enough when we play San Diego State this week. So obviously we have a lot to work on, but I love this team. I love how they fight for each other. And I'm so happy that we're bowl eligible. That's really, really special. And for all the people that are disappointed that we didn't win by enough, whatever, man. I'll see you next week.
All right, questions for Coach?
So very curious about the timeout before the touchdown to Mazzotti. Do you expect the play to unravel the way it did?
No, that was the progression. So the progression goes there, and if that's not good, then it goes there. And so just progression read by Shevin. Shevin's brilliant, right? Like, he's awesome. Kid, he's just awesome. He's crazy competitor, and he just makes all kinds of incredible plays. And then on top of that, he's just a tremendous human being. He's awesome.
So unfortunately, Cordero threw his second interception of the season tonight. It was 3rd and 1, and apparently it was out of a timeout. A deep shot had been called, and it was an interception. Thankfully, Colorado State did not score off that interception, but in retrospect, how do you feel you could have called that play differently?
I have no problem with the play call. Shevin's thrown 2 picks this year, so we're good. You know what I mean? But I do think on that play, I think Braddock could have helped it a little bit. Right, Jermaine kind of got walled out, and I thought he could have fought through it, maybe got a pass interference call and made a play on the ball a little bit. It did look like Shevin left it inside, but that's a one-on-one deep shot. We like that throw. We like the matchup. We're going to throw that more. That's going to happen again. So,
Brent, you called this game 4 quarters entertaining, and it exactly was that. But it was weird. They had big numbers. Defense had big numbers, and is it something about just this air raid offense, or is it just, like you said, just college football?
Yeah, I think it's college football, right? Like, Torrey Horton is a brilliant player. Like, the guy's awesome, man. Like, we did everything we could, and he still made plays. And I think that's, like, those are moments where I know this is sometimes hard for fans to do, but as a coach, you just tip your hat. Like, way to go, Torrey. Like, you're a good player. Like, give the guy credit. Give their staff credit. They put him in position to make plays, and he made plays, right? So, that part of it that's just football, right? Like, I don't know how many sacks Fehoko had today and Cade. Is that on here? I have a partial. I don't have the whole thing, so I can't tell you. But it looked like now the last drive he was just gassed, and we had to get him out of there because he had nothing left in the tank. But when those guys are going, they're a lot of fun to watch. And I think we had 9 sacks in the game, which is just fantastic. So. Just credit to Coach Odom and Coach Samalo and the defensive staff, like just all those guys, right? Coach Viney and Coach Kristoff and Coach White. And I love where we're at in the kicking game. There's just a lot of good stuff going on.
Coach, looks like, especially on the offensive end, out of the halftime break, came out with a lot of energy, put up a bunch of points. What was kind of the adjustment made at halftime, and what was the message to the guys in the locker room in the break?
It was just like, let's just play. Like, just let's line up and do what we do. We know what we're doing. Let's just, like, take a deep breath. That was the big thing. Like I say, everybody's calm down. It's 10-7. Take a deep breath, and let's just play. Let's just play one play at a time and stop worrying about the outcome, which is what I feel like that was heavy on our minds early in the first half, and let's focus on our process. That's been like our mantra all season, process over outcome, and I just thought we got lost in that, we got to get bowl eligible and we got to win, and just play this play and shut up and play. And that's what we finally got to, and then you saw us start to move the ball.
These games are like almost like cardiac kids. I mean,
They're painful, right?
Yeah, so
Yeah,
I mean, if you
I
had this
know.
choice between a grinded out game versus like a blowout or whatnot, I mean, are these kind of like character building games? Or
No, these games are important because you got to find a way to win them. You know what I mean? And I think in general, like people on the outside, it's just like, oh, I want to beat everybody 100-0, but that's just not football. That's just not real. And so for us, the fact that we've had games like this year where we have had to find a way where it didn't look good and we had to talk as a staff and talk with our players, and our players had to stay together and keep believing they could. Like, those are great lessons for them, like as men, let alone as a football team. And so this was another example of that, right? We've also been in games where we're in the fourth quarter and, it's over, right? So we've had all circumstances, but I think as a team, you do gain a lot from moments like this.
Because you want to address like bowl eligibility again and the importance of it really down to like recruiting and everything. How important is it really?
It's critical. Okay, so like I get that question a lot, like even from young players who don't really understand the bowl thing. The reason certain teams are good every year is because they get an extra spring practice, and it's not called spring practice; it's called bowl practice. So they go to a bowl game and they get 15 to 25 days of practice before that game, right? So spring football is 15 days. And so you get bowl practice and you get spring practice. So we have 38 first-year players. All these new guys, they get all these reps and they get to play and practice. And, we're going to still give reps to Cade and Junior and Elijah Cooks, but like those are so important. And so that's how you build sustainability. And that's what was so hard about COVID, is because that year the bowl game was not a fun bowl experience. It was the best we could do, but we were on lockdown, right? It's not like the normal bowl experience. And then on top of it, our practice time was abbreviated. I think we were there for 3 days, right? And then like our whole team got COVID. It's like a nightmare. So it was nothing like what a real bowl game feels like. And so the excitement that comes out of that for recruiting, the excitement that comes out of that for the extra practice that you get, for the young players who have they were the man last year and then they come here and they don't even get to play. Like, they get to develop and accelerate their process. So there's so many good parts of that. And then like also on top of that, you're going to play a game on a day where you're probably the only game on TV. You're the only college football game. You're part of the bowl series, the most wonderful time of the year. They put it on ESPN, so.
Did anybody flinch after the touchdown from Colorado State to open up the game, or is it just, oh, that happened, on to the next?
Yeah, that early you just keep playing. Yeah, there was nothing like that, So, and there wasn't anything like that. Like the defense made a couple of huge stops there at the end of the second half. It was crazy, right? They kept getting chunks and like big conversions, and then they jumped offside. We had a 10-second runoff, and it was what a crazy way to end a half. But I'm glad we didn't give up points there.
So last week, Kyrie Robinson gets that touchdown with just over a minute to go to win the game. And then this week, coming back from a halftime deficit, build a big lead, and be able to keep a big lead. What do you attribute to San Jose State being better able to close out games this year?
I think we have found a way to run the football at the end of a game when we need to. And then, on top of that, today we had to make some plays, right, because they scored that touchdown, and then we answered with a touchdown, right? So it was a little bit different scenario. We weren't just trying to close the clock out or close the game out with that, but that was a big play. And And then I think Kyrie and our O-line is still in developmental, right? We're starting 2 redshirt freshmen at tackle, and that's unique. You know, like not a lot of people do that. And so, and Coach Oglesby is doing a fantastic job coaching those guys, and those guys are coming together, and we're getting great leadership from Jaime Navarro and Anthony Pardue and Tyler Ostrom, who have been here with us for 4 or 5. Yeah, none of them been here 6, but you know, and so, and they're helping those young guys grow and develop and improve. And I think the exciting thing about that is those guys are going to be big-time players in a year or 2. I mean, they're going to be unbelievable.
Any more questions for Coach? All right. Thank you, Coach.
All right.